everyone. Welcome back to Random Spirit Podcast. I am your host, Cynthia, and I have a very special guest on my podcast. Not necessarily a guest because he's been on already and he's going to be coming back joining me. Crecen.
Hey guys, hey everyone.
Woo! And the crowd goes wild.
Out of two people goes wild over here.
Yes.
All right.
To anyone that has followed me on my journey in the very beginning, Crecen was doing the podcast with me.
Yes.
Yes, huge support, amazing. And yeah, he's coming back. So that's cool. I'm excited. Super, super great. All the episodes that we're going to be doing. So today we're going to be talking about a topic called Gene Key. It's like a healing modality.
Correct.
Yes.
Richard Rudd.
Yes, Richard Red. I'm gonna leave it to Creason to go on and describe like what gene keys are, and then like we'll just flow back and forth.
Sounds good. So yeah, I'm gonna give my brief
Yeah.
talk about the gene keys. So first, the gene keys combine a lot of different things together. Spirituality, it takes like things from different cultures. So they have a little bit of Indian in there, a little bit of Chinese modality. They also speak about science. So they blend in religion in terms of like astrology, and they also go ahead and they blend in some like what your genomes are made of, which is the genes themselves, and like they basically go ahead and combine all that together, and you get what's called the gene keys. And the gene keys basically, when you go on the website, genekeys.com, I think Richard Rudd has it, you can basically have your hologenetic profile made. And what that is you put in like your information and it gives you pretty much a chart of, different, I would say, spheres that contain like information about your life's purpose, your attraction, what you're supposed to do in the world, all that beautiful, beautiful stuff. Um, so it's about human design and genetics, um, and it's a system for self understanding and inner transformation. That's my brief definition of the gene keys. But yeah, like there's a lot to it. I guess that today we're gonna try to keep it simple and just speak about the spheres, like specifically the attraction sphere. But there, just know that there's a lot of different spheres, and they're all connected by lines. It basically looks, it's really nice. It looks like a little star. That's how I like
Yeah,
to describe it,
like a diamond.
like a little diamond, and it tells you a lot about your life. So that's my definition, but I'll leave it to Cynthia to go ahead and expand on it if she so pleases.
Yeah. So the gene keys literally it's basically inner healing. So Richard Rudd, in his words, he calls the gene keys involution. You have evolution, which is the like the outer change of humanity, and then you have involution, which is us turning, inwards, right? And the beautiful part of turning inwards is that that shit gets passed down. I'm not big on science, but I don't know. Like when you sit here and like we are made of energy, and then when we sit here and we raise our vibration, and then we have children, that gets trickled down, right?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, genes are if you want the scientific thing, it's genes are energy centers. They're where your energy actually comes from.
Yeah.
Your body basically creates energy, and the vibrations that you feel is your body basically going through the energy. Your energy goes in and out, it flows in a
Okay.
specific way. And from the scientific standpoint, the reason that genes make so much sense is because since those are the places of where energy is transferred in and
Mhm.
out, and it also describes like who you are as a person,
Yeah.
like it's a mix of those two things. It describes who you are as a person, but it also has to do with your energy and how your energy flows throughout the day.
Okay.
So,
And then just from what I've read, thank you for that. I'm not a scientific girly. And from what I read from the spheres and the gene keys that I have, a lot of these gene keys we're gonna see like so you change your inner world and then the outer world is gonna be affected, but I feel like in the sense of the involution and we're doing the inner work, I believe like way down the line is when we're going to see a huge shift in humanity, outwardly, and then it's gonna like trickle down. But anyway, so that is my definition of the gene key. It is a like tool. Is it a tool? Like
Yes.
a healing modality. So basically, there are many ways to source. There are many ways to enlightenment, God, whatever you call it. There are many ways to heal yourself, and this is one that I have recently been getting into. I have been balls deep into this for what, 2 years?
Yes. 2 years.
Yes. Um yeah, so that is what Gene Keys is. And in each Gene Key you have three levels of consciousness, I believe.
Yeah.
So you have the shadow, and this is the unconscious attraction patterns. You have the gift, which is the conscious relational growth. And then you have the siddhi, which is the spiritual realization in love. I like to call this like this is the enlightenment. It's high vibration, right? The
Yeah.
siddhi is you being in your high vibration state.
Yeah. And it's city like in Siddhi, not city as in the town.
Yes, yes. So I was introduced to this in January of 2024. I got a reading from Jenna, this amazing person that has mentored me, and she was doing goddess astrology stuff, and then she had given me a reading. She threw gene keys in there. I knew nothing about this, and I'm telling y'all, this shit changed my life. Like Crecen had said, you have the spheres around the hologenetic profile, and each sphere represents like something in your life, right?
Mhm.
And so the one that we're going to be going over is the attraction sphere.
Yes.
So, gonna give you the rundown. The attraction sphere is basically like who we attract,
Yeah.
right? It is the energy of who and like who we attract. When it comes to partners, when it comes to coworkers, I am a firm believer of us attracting people and relationships that mirror our parents or our caregivers or whoever the fuck raised you. That is what you are going to be attracting.
Mhm.
And if I feel like life is just a lifelong fucking lesson, and every relationship, every encounter that we have, it's a lesson. And it's just like, either you're going to learn from this, you're going to evolve, you're going to go into your gift and then get pockets of your city, or you're just going to, stay in the low frequency of your shadow, and then it's just going to be a loop, a revolving door. um, how would you describe the attraction sphere?
So the attraction spirit for me, I read a little bit of that book and it might be cheating, but
It's not.
okay. But like I read the, basically it's about relationships and it's also about like all of your relationships and it's about your growth inside those relationships. So the attraction spirit to me is not only who do you attract vibrationally, but it's also who, like the number of people that you attract to you. And every one of those people have a lesson to go ahead and give to you. And you have to go ahead and learn from that lesson. So it's about helping you grow. And to me, that's what the attraction spirit like means the most. It's a growth like spare. It's a spare of you attract these people to help you learn something about yourself, learn something like about your vibration, learn something about you, and then grow into a better person based off of the relationships that you attract. And it can be anyone. It could be like, your girlfriend, your
Yeah.
boyfriend, it could be your siblings, it could be your parents, it could be your coworkers, it could be anyone that comes your way. There's something to learn from every single person. And some people stay there longer than others, but
Yeah.
they all have a lesson to give. So that's what the attraction spirit to me is. And yeah,
We have the same views.
I think that we always have the same view.
Yes, we have the same views. Okay, so we're gonna go on and share our attraction spheres. This is going to be, I don't know how deep we're gonna go. To anyone that's listened to our old podcasts, we went pretty deep.
Yeah, I think like it just depends on how or
How
what,
how deep? Do you want to air all your trauma out on the podcast? No, I don't.
depends on how much trauma you have stacked up.
Okay. All right. So my gene key for my attraction sphere is 59.6. Okay. So the gene key number, it goes from gene key 1 to 64. Mine is 59. So I'm gonna go on and just we're just gonna talk, we're just gonna vibe, and we're gonna, talk about like our sphere and stuff like that. So I have been balls deep into Gene Keys and really trying to change my life, shift my life. Ever since the Gene Keys have came into my life, I'm not even gonna lie, and I would love to hear like how you feel. I feel like it's another Moldavite.
We don't, the Moldavite was one of our earlier episodes, but basically the Moldavite's a rock of change.
I'll
And
put the link in the link to the Moldavite in the bio.
uh, it was one of the first, like, I think, crystals I ever bought, and it really rocked the world. I still have mine hung up, which is probably why I don't stop going through changes.
I have mine in my backpack.
It's freaking metamorphosis
No,
over
but
here.
honestly, I feel like the Gene Keys for me is it's like the Moldavite. I I can't even tell you the because I go into like generational trauma healing and chakras. The Gene Keys has I read my Gene Key, or like I'm in a sphere and I'm doing my reading, and next thing you know, the next day or like the next month, like my Gene Keys like speaking to me through people,
Hmm.
you know?
That's true.
So I just feel like the Gene Keys is like another version of the Moldavite. Like
Yeah.
it's manifested different. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just me. What about you? Like how have you been feeling since I've introduced it to you?
Well, I mean, for me, it's a little different. Like, I mean, we're not going into it yet, but like, I feel it's more of like a reflective surface, kind of like a mirror. Like, I feel like it mirrors back to
Oh.
you,
Oof.
like what you see. So therefore, when you have like when you're inside your shadow or gift, that's what gets reflected back. So you can tell like where you are based off of what's getting reflected back to you. So if you, I mean, in yours it's dishonesty, and mine it's like impatience.
Yeah.
Like I realize that if I'm impatient, impatience comes back to me. If I'm
Yeah.
patient, patience comes back to me. And I feel it's the same thing with you, dishonest, I forgot what your gift was.
Intimacy.
Yeah, intimacy. So I'm guessing that if you want to like get those reflected, you have to basically be embodying it. If you don't embody it, then you get whatever you whatever.
You get what you get.
Yeah, you get those the shadow mostly reflected back at you. Because yeah, like if I was impatient, like I usually try to be patient, but I realize that if I'm ever impatient, like everything starts to go ahead and be wrong. Everyone starts acting like, their heads are cut off because I'm impatient. So I always have to go in and remind myself, I'm like, hold on, maybe I'm the issue here.
Maybe I'm the
Maybe
problem.
I need to just calm down.
I want to start with your attraction sphere.
Okay. The
Okay.
entire the whole enchilada?
The
Or just
whole
like,
enchilada.
are we gonna do like shadow, gift, and then sitting?
I want you to flow in whatever it is that you want to do. I wanted to do but I just okay, so but before we get into it,
Uh-huh.
Creason's gene key, his attraction sphere is fifth no five, five,
Me
five.
too.
And we have this thing where we have like our favorite gene keys, right?
Yeah.
And this specific gene key is so beautiful. So Creason's gene, the number 5, the shadow is impatience, the gift is patience, and then
The city.
the city is timelessness. And I feel like it's so interesting because I was reading his Gene Keys, and I'm the friend, like I find something like so interesting. I'm like, oh my gosh, let's go and like read your stuff, and I'll pull the thing out, and we're reading it. And I think we were kind of confused, right? We had first read it, and I was kind of confused, and I was like, what, like, because the way that Richard Rudd speaks again, like it's like you kind of have to you have two different perspectives. You have mine and how I'm interpreting it, and then you have Creason's and how he's interpreting it.
Yeah.
But long story short, we as we were reading into it, we were trying to, see, okay, like how can we put this into the position of the attraction in your relationship.
Correct.
And then the interesting thing is that our relationship, I feel, embodies the city.
Correct.
And the like it's in the word timelessness. It's like whenever we hang out and stuff like that, I'm not looking at the
Yeah,
time. And like time goes by super quick.
it does.
We could literally be like in the car like talking for hours,
Okay.
and I like
I already know what time it is right now.
8:53. But yeah, this is one gene key that's just so beautiful. And the way that I like to do it, Crecen will be like I love to hear his perspectives, even though like we're Virgos and we're best friends. There is still a lot of opposite. I feel like I'm more flowy
Yeah.
and more emotional, and Crecen leans more towards like every man, logical,
Yeah.
and very like he's very structured, and I do not like to be boxed in. But having those two perspectives helps when it comes to his wording,
Yeah.
you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. We're gonna go on. Creason's gonna talk about his
The end.
gene
The
key
end of time.
5.
I'm gonna do something outside of my comfort zone. I'll wing it.
Oh my God! She's gonna wing. Look, I was trying to be structured. Oh, okay. All
So I'm going to
right.
talk about the ending of time without going too deep. I'm going to speak about patience,
Yeah.
impatience, patience, and timelessness,
Yes.
as it applies to my life. So I'm going to try to go ahead and make this as flowy as possible. But
And remember, we're focusing on relationships because this is
yes,
your attractor sphere.
luckily for us, everything's a relationship, so we're pretty much good there. I think I'm just gonna go through like where in my life I went through each one of these because I think that I've gone through each piece of these in
Really?
different pieces of my life.
Mm.
So I'm going to start off with impatience. There's a couple of places actually. So the shadow of the fifth is impatience. And the way that I like to go ahead and describe the impatience
Mhm.
is basically you want things now and you want instant gratification. You want to, like, you're not waiting for life to do things for you. You're trying to go in and take it by the horns and do things for yourself.
Control.
And it's basically, yes, in short, control. And to be honest, I feel that impatience for me hits in a lot of ways. So, for one, like I feel that I'm the most impatient when I'm speaking to or about my little brother. And if you were to go ahead, if he ever listens to this, like he would know that he always triggers my impatience. So, why am I impatient? For one, I have high tolerance for a lot of
You
people,
do.
like
You're very patient.
incredibly patient. But when it comes to people who have grinded down that patience to a point, my I would say my emotions are close to the surface and I will get angry immediately.
You get really
And
snappy.
the thing is about my impatience is I think my mother likes to say like the demon comes out of you,
Oh my gosh.
which is the funniest thing that ever said. She's like, your eyes get big and you start yelling.
They do.
And she's like, it's like the demon's about to pop out of
That's
you.
so funny. I've seen you upset. Shout
So
out to your mom.
Yeah, so
Uh,
the thing about impatience, and here's the thing, impatience makes more impatient. So when I start getting angry, my younger brother starts getting angry. And it goes
okay. Reflecting.
back and forth, and then it just gets higher and more elevated. And other
Mm-hmm.
people get involved. They start getting angry, and it
Mm-hmm.
starts getting elevated. People start saying to other people to shut up. Being in the impatience to me is one of the hardest shadows ever because all it does is makes you feel not only do you feel tense,
Yeah.
not only do you feel anxious, you also feel as though like your blood is boiling and that you don't want to be inside anywhere that you're even close to the person or place that you're at.
Yeah.
And I think that between thinking about the people and the places that make you impatient, that's where everything starts to break down. So I never like to be in the shadow because of the amount of energy that it takes. It takes up a lot of energy, it takes up a lot of time, and I feel myself always losing myself whenever I'm in the shadow of impatience because it's a cyclone. It pulls other people into it. It makes everyone irritated. It makes everyone mad. Nothing gets done in impatience.
Where do you feel like you get it more in like with your family?
My family is one of the biggest pieces of my impatience. I would say when I was younger, I had like a lot, like everything pissed me off. Like all my younger siblings got me mad.
Oh no.
So like, if I would be building something and like all my brothers are younger, everyone's younger than me, and they would knock over my thing,
Yeah.
impatience immediately. Like everything to me was impatience. And I remember that it took some time for discussions to take place that helped me work on the gift. And the gift is patience. So, one of the things that I was taught to help me out going into the gift was teaching. And I was taught from a young age, hey, instead of getting mad at your brothers and your sister, why not teach them? Why not show them something? And I think that that's part of the reason why I generated so much patience because I would sit there and I would make worksheets. So I would grab a ruler with a pencil, draw out like the things for them to like write their alphabet, create like the worksheet, create art, like draw up the stuff, put it down, and just have them practice. And from a young age, I guess I don't know if you could call it parentifying, and maybe it is, but I would basically give them worksheets and I would do like a letter per day. And then they would just do it and they'll take back and I would grade it. And I felt a goodness from that. Like it was a very good channel of my energy. So I expanded it into making games for them and like doing little projects for them, anything to occupy my mind so I wasn't getting mad at them all the time. And I think that's the start of me going into the gift. Now, when it came to school and a lot of other stuff, I would say that I stayed in patience because I wanted to learn so that way I can teach. And I think that that was one of my core things. It's actually a big reason about why my career is the way that it is because I didn't learn for the sake of, oh, I just want to be smart.
Yeah.
I learned for the sake of, oh, if I learn this, I can teach it to someone. I can show somebody how to do this thing that I've learned in a different way. And it made me really, really pay attention, really, really be patient with the teachers I would interact with, the parents that I would interact with, and things like that. People that I interacted with, I was extremely patient. And I think that that built up over time. So I feel that for the most part, I've become in my gift and I'm not impatient very often because I feel that there's always something to learn from a situation. And that's just over time. So in my jobs, I'm patient because I'm always trying to learn. In my schooling, I'm patient. Inside even our relationship, I'm patient. In like listening to younger kids, I think that they have something of value. I'm patient. So everyone I said has something valuable to give. Therefore, I am patient so that way I can listen to what people have to say regardless. I'm not like, that's why I try my best not to, be in the impatience. But the only person I know that beat me on that one is my brother. Lastly, the city. So this is timelessness. And I think this was the hardest one for me to hit because of the fact of it's not easy to find people to be timeless with. And so, how do I describe timelessness? I feel it is an everlasting state of flow. And if for people who
Mm-hmm.
don't know what flow is, it's when your brain and your body is synchronized on a task and every single thing else fades. And being in timelessness has to do with being in that state of where nothing else matters, of where you're focused, your mind and your body and your spirit is all focused on one specific thing, and it's not focused anywhere else. And I am fortunate to have a best friend of where I feel that with, but it's very rare because most people I feel are either A, counting the seconds until they have to leave,
Mm.
or B, even if they're patient, they're patiently waiting for the time to leave. They're not sitting in a state of being present. And I feel that timelessness has to do with being present. Now I'm gonna bring something into this that, else into this. I mean, me and Cynthia also went over the Course in Miracles,
Yeah.
which also has to do with this
Yes.
in terms of present and being present in the present moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that depending on the spirit or the person or the vibration that you're dealing with, being in the present moment takes a lot of trust,
Mm-hmm.
patience, and belief in the fact that the person that's sitting near you is going to be in the same state that you're going to be. If anything breaks that immersion, the whole timelessness breaks along with it.
Yeah.
It's gone. So I am fortunate inside times like these to be able to do timelessness, but I would say that it's very rare. I would say that, like, in certain aspects, I would love to be inside timelessness all the time because being present and being inside this moment is very, very nice. There's a feeling of energy that comes with timelessness that you don't get with, like, just being somewhere. Like,
Yeah.
you always want to be there. You don't feel tired. You could speak all day, all night and it doesn't matter, and then you sleep and you get up and then you're just back and doing the exact same thing. It's hard to find. So, yeah, those are my three. I winged it, so there's not that much
I'm proud of
substance.
you. I feel like that was you. That's you being in the present moment, and that's you. Okay, so from my understanding, the timelessness is being in the present moment, and the patience
Yes.
is
The patience is kind of like a step down.
okay.
It's like, so you're not in the present moment, but you are waiting longer. So, like, it's
Okay.
more of like your wait time. How long are you willing to wait for something to happen? Impatience is the short spurt of time
Yeah.
that you're willing to wait. Patience is I'm willing to wait for longer, but there's still a limit to it. Like, you could be
Mm-hmm.
patient, but someone could always turn you into being impatient. Well, timelessness is I don't care how long I want to wait. I just want to be here, which is presence.
Yeah. That's beautiful. And you know what's so beautiful about the Gene Keys is that yes, we have our own specific Gene Keys, but also I feel like we can also try to, embody the other ones,
Yes.
right?
Yes. I think that that's the key. Like, the gene keys are, as I said, well, for me, they reflect off each other.
Yeah.
So if you are embodying your gene keys, it's going to reflect back. And, like, that's to me how people share each other's gene keys is if she's inside her shadow,
Yeah.
it's going to reflect back to her.
Yes.
If she's in her gift, and me, myself,
Yeah.
I'm in my gift, it's going to reflect back. You
Mm-hmm.
reflect back what you give out.
Yes.
So you have to make sure that you're always looking at the inner work, which is the main reason for
Mm-hmm.
like our podcast and all this other stuff because we're always talking about inner work. But I feel
Always.
that the Gene Keys is a very good way of representing your inner work
Mm-hmm.
and the inner work that you have to do to make sure that you're living your best life. So
Yes,
that way other people can live
absolutely.
their best life. Otherwise, you're
Mm-hmm.
just going to be attracting people and places and things that reflect the stuff that you
The
possibly do
shadow.
not want to
No,
reflect.
yeah. And then also I remember you kept telling me this too as we're reading in, the Gene Keys. The shadow is not necessarily a bad thing,
Correct.
right? Again, this is like levels of vibration. You have like the shadow, which is the lower vibration. You have the gift, which is like obviously a step,
Yeah, it's
you
like a
know,
bed.
up, and then you have the city, which is the higher vibration. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I feel timelessness as well. I can, count on my hand how many people I feel timelessness with, but that's great. Do you feel like do you want to have more of the patience like in your work, like with other friends?
It's a work in progress.
Yeah.
I feel that being present with certain people, like I have to be very careful about who I choose to be present with because of the fact that I feel that some people try to take advantage and other people do not. And that's why I said that trust is the most important aspect
Yeah.
because if you cannot trust a person to be present with you,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just trying to go and do something, it's not going to work out. So I'm patient with a lot of people, but there's a reason why I'm not like trying to go timelessness with like,
I'm trying to
my youngest.
kumbaya with everyone.
It's difficult to do it because some people take your patience
Mm-hmm.
and then just override it. They're not in the patience with you. They're in the
Mm-hmm.
patience because you're doing it, and they just know you're not going to speak back, so they just like throw all their stuff onto you, you know. But I think that if someone has like some intelligence on behind it that you can get that timelessness as long as both people respect each
Yes.
other's time. You know they're not going to hear to just go
Yeah.
ahead and dare. You can vibe in the same room without them going in and just dumping everything on you and expecting you to deal with it and stuff like that. So I think that it's important to know who you're trying to go and do timelessness with.
Yeah, I'm getting this message also. The patience would also be like receptivity
Correct.
of where like I'm receptive to you, you're gonna be receptive towards like,
Yes.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Oh, thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
I love Gene Key 5. I have favorite Gene Keys. As we go down, I will explain the other Gene Keys. Are you all ready for mine? We love a good trauma story. No, I'm kidding. I am gonna be so vulnerable and just so transparent. I'm going through it. Creason's like, what aren't you? I am going through it. And this particular gene key, before we even came on this podcast, I was asking Creason, I was like, should we do life's work or should we do attraction? Because our original plan was it was gonna be the life's work, and that's the first sphere at bleh, the first sphere at the top. Yes. And so, anyone that knows me, I like to throw things out and go back and forth. And I was like, you want to do the life work or you want to do the attraction? And then Creason was like, I don't know. But anyway, long story short, my attraction is my life's work. Gene Key 59, this is the dragon in your genome, okay? So, my shadow is dishonesty, my gift is intimacy, and my city is transparency. Y'all, this is the one gene key I am going to tell you I struggle with.
I can hear that. Yeah.
But you can see it
I
too.
can
And
see it. I can hear it.
I struggle with it so hard. Okay, so I have been trying to just like really embody and just really understand, because like I said, you're not supposed to take what Richard Rudd says like literal, right? And something, and like I've had gene key readings in the past and stuff, and like something that I have learned with the 59th gene key is the dishonesty with myself. Okay? It like the whole time I was like, oh, like I'm being dishonest with others. No, it's the literal dishonesty with myself. This one's interesting because Um, I'm the type of person that I like to dissect things, right?
Absolutely.
You know what's funny? I always get on you for trying to understand
Yes.
when that's exactly what I do when it comes to like my healing modalities. Like I'm trying to understand and this one right here, I've been hooked on this, trying to understand the dishonesty, and I feel like I've cracked it. I feel like I finally got it.
Okay.
So when it comes to the dishonesty with myself, there's a lot to it. I feel and I know this stems from childhood. And it's so interesting because in the Gene Keys you have Richard Rudd gives you the rundown of the shadow. And then towards the end of the shadow, he gives you the repressive nature and how it looks, and the reactive nature and how it looks, right? And for myself, you have the excluded nature. When I tell you, intimacy is something that I crave, but it is also something that scares the fucking shit out of me.
Mhm.
I'm sure you know this. 59th Gene Key, basically, from my understanding of reading this, it talks about auras.
Yes.
And both, like, we all are energy, and we have two auras, and the goal is so you have the two auras and they're separated, and to get into the gift, you create a third aura, which is the I hope I'm making sense, okay? um and there's a lot of like angles to it, but
Mhm.
in the speaking of energetics, that's what it is. Now I fall into the repressive nature, the excluded, because I feel like it's something deeper and I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
I just feel like people don't like me.
It's that I like you.
I know you do. You have to like me. I hope you like me. Yeah. I feel like there's so many aspects to it, and I feel like I'm getting like fucking excited and overly stimulated. I know you can see it. But it's like I feel like I crave intimacy, but then at the end of the day, I'm petrified of it. It stems from my childhood, and there is this aspect of trust. And going back to the dishonesty when it comes to me, I have just gone through so much trauma. And the interesting thing is right now in my life, this gene key, the shadow is activating and it's screaming. Do you agree?
Absolutely.
This gene key is activating and screaming because of the fact that it's like me having to set boundaries, me having to like really trust in like myself and trust in my what I have to say and what it is that I want. I have realized that I have been like pretty indecisive, and this is the things that I'm really trying to work through within myself. It's been difficult. It's been really difficult. I feel like because right now I am living with my parents, and I am at the root of like everything. There's little instances and things that remind me of a lot of like my past, and it's frustrating because I'm sitting here and I'm just like, how can I get into the gift with someone that judges me, with someone that I come to you with something and I'm trying to create this intimacy, but it's like, it's instant. I feel like it's instant judgment, Crecen. Do
That's the
you
key.
agree?
That's the key word. Yes.
How do you expect me to be intimate or even open up and try to create a third fucking aura if you're gonna judge me? Which is funny because my culture sphere is 18 and that's judgment, but we're gonna talk about it another time.
That
We're gonna talk about it another time. But it's it's crazy because like I know my whole hologenetic profile, and it's interesting. The spheres kind of like they're connected, and the attraction sphere then I could feel it's like, oh, well, like it's triggering my EQ,
Yeah,
you know? And then I sit here and I start feeling inadequate.
absolutely. Which is another one of her spears. But I was going to ask a question. What does this honesty actually mean to you?
Dishonesty means to me someone that is not fully like embodying what it is that they want,
Mm,
you know?
okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then intimacy, which is the next step up.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you?
I speak in energetics. I feel like intimacy, to me, intimacy feels like warm. Intimacy feels, it's like two people coming together and connecting.
Hmm.
That's literally how I view intimacy.
Gotcha.
Like two people coming together, connecting, and then also like being able to hold space for one another and not judge.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So I want to speak a little bit because like
Yeah.
I'm from the outside looking in,
Yeah.
and I know you didn't speak during my
No,
GP,
it's
so
okay.
but so for this honesty, like I've realized throughout the course, because we've known each other now for 11, 12 years. We're going on 12 years.
I
So
met you in 2013.
yeah, so it's been a long time. And to be honest with this, funny, not
Yeah.
dishonest, a lot of life in terms of like this honesty, I feel for what I've seen from your life
Yeah.
has been when you're not living to yourself. So
Mm-hmm.
like the dishonesty doesn't come from per se like, oh, I'm being dishonest with this person, I
Oh,
feel.
yes, yes, yes,
It
yes, yes.
comes from the fact of like
Yourself.
you want something inside your life, and then you're trying to like displace it, push it to the side, leave it, be like, it's not that important. I feel when you put yourself on the shelf, when you put yourself behind, when you put
You're
yourself,
holding yourself
when you
back.
hold yourself back, you're being dishonest by default.
Correct.
Intimacy, which is the next level up,
Yeah.
I feel is you being in your truth about
Yeah.
what you want to yourself.
Absolutely.
Like, and then we didn't talk about the city yet, which is transparency,
Woo, I love me
but
some
the
transparency.
transparency, the step above
Mm-hmm.
intimacy, is being able to show the world exactly what you want inside
Correct.
yourself. And that's why it's so difficult to embody, I feel,
Mm-hmm.
because you have, like, I remember this one of the things that you would always tell me was authenticity.
Yeah.
You got to be authentic. And
Mm-hmm.
authenticity to me is one of the hardest things to do
Yeah.
because of the J word, which is judgment.
Yep.
People want you to fit in a specific box.
I
I
can't
go through
stand that
this
shit.
with my father. I go through this actually when I go ahead and I even hang out at your house. There is a specific box
Yeah.
that people want me to fit in.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter what I do.
Mm-hmm.
If I am not fitting inside that box, there's a problem.
Yeah.
I have a lot of quirks
Yes.
that I go ahead and do, but I feel, and this is where the authenticity disappears for me. I feel that I cannot be my overall super quirky whatever self because a lot of my authenticity lies within the quirkiness and stuff like that, how I
Yes.
describe
The
it.
weirdness, the randomness.
But the reason, and this is where timelessness and transparency all kind of blend together,
Mm-hmm.
you're showing the world not only who you are, but what you want to do.
Absolutely.
So I feel like there's, you're right when you were saying about your whole dishonesty. So I'll let you can go ahead and
No,
continue.
yeah.
But I feel that the through line between of that is of self. And it's always been of self.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's, hey, I can't be myself. And it's understanding that within yourself, when you cannot be yourself, you're not going to be able to raise yourself to the gut. You're not going to be able to raise yourself to the city because you're not being your true self. You're putting
Mm-hmm.
yourself away, you're taking away
Yeah.
aspects of
You're
yourself,
watering yourself
you're
down.
watering yourself down just to be able to fit in to a specific box that
Mm-hmm.
somebody wants to put you in. And if you can find people that do not try to box you, then you start rising through your keys. But it's
Yeah,
just so difficult
it
because
is.
people do not want to accept you for what you are. Instead, they're trying to go ahead and mold you into what
Oh,
they feel that you should be. And
I
finding people
agree.
that accept you for who you are is how you rise. It's
Mm-hmm.
how you move up through your.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like the reflection of it is, oh, I don't want to be like I can't be myself because this person's going to judge me for it. Or I can't be myself because this person's going to punish me for it. Or do something bad to me for it. And the more that you feel that, the more this honesty is going to reflect because you're never going to be able to be
Absolutely.
honest with yourself if someone is making you feel bad for being yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the through line for me of this honesty. It has to do with the self, but it also has to do with your internal world
Mm-hmm.
and making sure that you're always being your best self. And if
Absolutely.
someone can't freaking accept you
Mm-hmm.
for who you are as a person,
Mm-hmm.
you like you're not gonna be able to rise to your gift. You're not gonna be able to
Absolutely.
rise because you're just gonna be a mold. You're just gonna be a
Absolutely.
mold into something else. And
Mm-hmm.
that's not like you're always gonna be in dishonesty.
Yeah.
You'll never rise. So yeah, I agree with you. I think
Yeah.
that that's the truth.
No, yeah, absolutely. You said that so well. I really feel like, again, I'm the type of person that's like, oh, we have this. Like, I like to dissect it. I like to be like, where did this come from? And you said this, I'm gonna highlight mold because this, for me, I've realized it stems from childhood.
Yeah.
It stems from family. I'm gonna be raw and nasty, okay? This I feel comes from like identity when it comes to me. It comes from, you know, I was risen, we're gonna get deep. I was risen in a Mexican household and, to no fault of like my parents, I did not have any access to my African American side. I didn't. And I feel like growing up, the word adoption was so it was just so like I don't want to say it was taboo, but like I'm just gonna say like my whole life I felt like the literal black sheep of my family. And I just feel like I never fit in and stuff like that. So I feel like I was I'm gonna try to dance around. I don't want to sit here and like blame, you know, my parents or like anything. It's just the situation for what it was.
Yeah.
And I was conditioned um to sit here and like, oh, I'm Mexican and only Mexican, right? And it created this disconnect with my African American side. And, there's other things that trickled to it. So it's like, okay, Cynthia, you need to go on and, be this, right? And just be it, and you're going to be accepted and keep that shit moving. And I feel like that is the dishonesty, like when it comes to my attraction sphere. It comes from, okay, well, you know I was never we never talked about a lot of the things that we talk about, or like the things that I talk to my kids about. Like, it was again, like a Mexican household, right? Like,
Yeah.
we fucking Mexican shit. um and I wasn't taught how to communicate, like things like that. So when you come from like a world like that, and then there was just like no connection. And I'm just gonna say the interesting thing, and the what I feel like in that aspect of my life, what had me tried to really make that connection, honestly, was meeting Trey.
Yes.
Because, Trey is African American. Well, he's mixed, but he is connected to his African American side, and it was just so interesting because now we're gonna get into, the gift, and this is just one portion of my life, y'all. Okay, um, we're getting into the gift, and then I meet this, person, and he's opening a whole new world that I've like never even known, and then I'm like learning like, okay, wow, wow. I'm learning a lot when it comes to it, and I feel like, you know, in the attraction sphere for me, I feel like it runs like so deep to the point of like this identity, you know? I don't know if I ever spoke about it like on this podcast. I've made videos and shit about it. It's like something that's so like raw. The fact that I'm fucking 32 and I'm still trying to connect with like that side of me, you know? Um and stuff like that. So that is the shadow. It's like being dishonest, and stemming from my childhood, and then stemming from like, yeah, like you're right, like where you sit here and like I'm molded into something, and then I'm identifying with this, you know? So getting into the gift, and I feel like the gift of intimacy when it comes to the gene keys, literally is like, I feel like it's more of like love. And it's interesting because I was getting into the Gene Keys without knowing that I was getting into the Gene Keys, because something that I've always wanted, and something I've always said is like, in every single relationship that I am in, um and even when it comes to like the people that I've had on my podcast and stuff like that, like I love to hear a good story. I love to hear a good story. And not only that, like I feel like the intimacy and the transparency kind of like the gift in the city kind of like merged for me, because I'm more like, I want to know all your fucking traumas. I want to know all your nasties. I want to know like the most disgusting parts of you. Allow me to love you during that. Allow me to see you during that. For some reason, that has been the journey that I've been going on like these past like 5 years. And like, that's what I seek. That is intimacy to me, and transparency. That's what I seek in relationships. But like as I'm speaking it, I'm reflecting it back. The involution, I'm reflecting it back. And it's like, well, Cynthia, if you're gonna do that to others, or like if you want that from others, you need to like be available to do it for others. And then as I even like say that, like there's a part of me that shrinks, and she's
Exactly.
scared. She's so fucking scared, because it's like, do you know how many times I have sat here, and like, a lot of it. There was a lot of times that I was in a such vulnerable state. I don't even know what to like, how to even say it. I was just like so vulnerable, broken at my lowest point, and I'm going to someone, and you can say Cynthia's in survival. I'm in like my flight response, right? I'm at the low of the lows, and I'm coming to this person, and I'm sitting here, and I'm like, I'm pouring my heart out, and the person's like, "What do you want me to do about it?" Or I sit here and get no emotion. So it's this like battle, because it's like, how, like, if I'm sitting here and I'm showing you my ugly and I'm showing you my nasty, you know
Yeah.
how.
Yeah, and that's the key too. I think it's the exact same thing with timelessness. Like, you can't get people, I feel, to emotionally give you back.
Yeah.
Like, you have to find people who are willing
Mm-hmm.
to emotionally give you back. And I think that that distinction is so important because keep in mind, like, as you're saying all of this,
Yeah.
it has to do with healing. I feel that not every single person like has the emotional bandwidth or the
Yes.
emotional capacity
Yes.
due to the fact that they're not healed in themselves. So like when it comes down to it, when unhealed people like are going through stuff, their emotional bandwidth is this short. So when it comes down to it and you try to go in and deflect
Mm-hmm.
emotions onto someone who does not have emotional bandwidth, it deflects.
Yeah, but I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna say, coming from the state of your, so like the way that I view it, the shadow, I can just sit here and say the shadow is 8-year-old Cynthia.
Correct.
Your shadow is 8-year-old Crecen.
Correct.
How do you tell 8-year-old Crecen, you meet your parents at the conscious level of where they're at, they're unhealed, you need to go on and like, you get what I'm saying?
Correct. And that's a very good question. So there's a couple of things that I'm going to try to pull myself away from Gene Keys for a while because I was talking to, so I had a therapist who I went and spoke to,
We love the
and
queen.
I spoke to this therapist about this specific thing.
Yeah.
I was talking about healed and unhealed people and like how to navigate. Because
Yeah.
at the time I was speaking about my father.
Yeah.
I was speaking to him as unhealed. I was like, I try to go in and talk to him. I can't go talk to
Yeah,
him.
it's like a brick wall.
He's unhealed because he has so much trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And here's what they said. So it's the same thing with the 8-year-old child. I feel that your inner child
Yeah.
is always there,
Always.
except that your inner child's inside two specific states.
Mm-hmm.
It's either you are growing your inner child
Correct.
or you're not.
Yeah.
And your inner child has two states. Now, just like any child, when you're
Mm-hmm.
going ahead and you're engaging with
Yeah.
them, you're talking with them,
Mm-hmm.
you're stimulating them. Like my inner child has a lot of stimulants. Creativity. My
Mm-hmm.
inner child loves art.
Yeah.
Games. My
Mm-hmm.
inner child loves games.
Yeah.
Challenges. My
Mm-hmm.
inner child loves to be stimulated.
Yeah.
So when I'm in my best when it comes to my inner child is when all three of those things are being hit.
Mm-hmm.
When I can show off my creativity, when I can go ahead and like be challenged, and when, I'm doing it in a way that I want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's creativity, it's like just
Yeah.
being there.
Yeah.
So I feel that telling your inner child,
Mm-hmm.
like, hey, you know, this person's not available
Get over it.
is to me because children do not
Yep.
respond
Yep.
to
Mm-hmm.
like telling.
Yeah.
Children respond to energy.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm interacting with my inner child,
Mm-hmm.
it's all about the energy of how it makes me feel,
Mm-hmm.
not oh, we're gonna go in and try to push ourselves inside a
Yeah.
pushing like a square peg to a round hole, pretty much. And where this brings back to the therapist is the therapist told me
Yeah.
that it's more important for you to listen to your body and how you feel
1,000%.
than it is to try to force something that's not going to work. If you're tensing up
Absolutely.
and you feel as though you're not safe to do something,
Mm-hmm.
your inner child is telling you that this is not a safe space for me. I don't like this.
Mm-hmm.
Get me away from this.
Yeah.
This is not for me.
Mm-hmm.
You should never be in
Mm-hmm.
a state of tense,
Yeah.
shuddering,
Mm-hmm.
to try to force yourself to put yourself inside a position. Like your inner child's going to go ahead and
Mm-hmm.
show you through your body
Mm-hmm.
and how it feels.
Mm-hmm.
If you're open, it's because your body feels safe. If your body feels safe, your inner child's telling you, this is where I feel safe. This is where I belong. This is where I feel I can grow. And eventually, this is the thing about the inner child, eventually the inner child comes through. And it comes through hard because your body feels it.
Yeah.
Your body is your inner child, and your inner child speaks through feelings because that's what your inner child did when they were younger.
Mm-hmm.
When we felt sad, we knew who to go
Yeah.
to. When we felt happy, we knew where to go to. Like there was an instinctual to it. When I was young, I went to my mom mostly because I felt that she was the safer parent.
Thank you for that. But like, I guess like from my position, when you don't have that person
And
to go,
safety. Yeah.
when you don't have that safety, like what do you do? So like for instance, for Cynthia, like I love my mother so much, but
Yeah.
I feel like my mother does not have the emotional capacity And I feel like, and it's so interesting we're talking about this because this all does tie back into my gene keys,
Correct.
right?
It does.
Because I feel like, all about going back to the dishonesty, it's really like I'm, everyone on here knows like I'm a mother of three.
Correct.
And when I tell you, like, this is just like, I feel like I am grabbing all the shit that I have not, I mean, I guess you could say suppressed. And I had forgotten that, like, and it's like coming to the surface and just fucking punching me in the face. And I'm just like, yo, where, huh? What?
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel like it's something that's so difficult because I agree 1,000%. I love what the therapist said about the whole body thing
Yes.
because that's something that I've been telling you. I have been struggling with this is like me in the present moment right
Correct.
now of the whole like, Cynthia feeling, I've been experiencing a lot of like pockets where I'm extremely overwhelmed. And so Crecen, what is it that I do when I get super overly stimulated and like you see me like
Either you shut down, you go to your room. Um, it depends on the situation.
you're like, it depends, or you can get in your car.
Or you get in your car, you yell everywhere to be quiet, depending on the situation, is what you would.
Yeah, so it's like I feel like for me with that whole safe space, like I'm learning how to like regulate myself, regulate my emotions while trying to be a mom, while living in the root of everything, like it can be a lot. So I like trying to get into that intimacy. I feel like for myself, family is the biggest thing for me to heal. I'm just gonna put it flat out there. Family is a huge fucking thing for me to heal. I do not have the best relationship when it comes to my parents. I don't have the best relationship when it comes to my siblings. Um, and it sucks because I do still to this day feel like I've told you, yeah, I want to get like closer to my sister. Um, you know, it's difficult because of the responses that I get when I feel like I have my quirks too.
Correct.
And when I'm in like my quirkiness, when I am feeling aligned with myself, and then I sit here and like I am a very random person, okay? Like I will sit here and I will send like memes, I'll send you like a voice note, I'll like text you randomly the weirdest shit. And it's like when I'm in that state and then I get hit back with like something that was uncalled for, you know?
Correct.
So that is like my whole thing when it comes to the intimacy. And I feel like the answer for me is boundaries. And it's something that I'm working with. I feel like for myself, when it comes to family, there's this weird fucked up obligation type shit that I have. And family's family and I love them, but that doesn't excuse any like disrespect or judgment or anything. Um but yeah, whew, that was a lot. But definitely really trying to bring in more intimacy, more intimate relationships. I feel like the being in like intimacy, you and Tanisha like are my everything when it comes to that. Um, and yeah, I am hoping that I can recreate more. I have noticed in some of the people that I have been attracting where I can see the dishonesty with them. And it's difficult because I feel like I do have that gift to be able to like read people's bullshit. But it's like it's not my position to sit here and tell you how you feel, right? Another part of the dishonesty that I've noticed in the sphere of attracting and people coming to me is putting on a mask. and having that mask on for X, Y, and Z. There is a part of me that I used to have. I'm like struggling, y'all. I'm struggling because I used to be the type of person that was like, oh, like I was like so open. I was so open, I'm so vulnerable. And within the past 2 years, I've noticed like I'm open and vulnerable. I'm trying to like make a friend or some shit. And then like I don't know, that person just starts like judging or like whatever, right? So really just need to like trust in myself, really use my discernment. But this is the one gene key because like I said, this is my life's work as well that I feel like I personally struggle with because it hits so deep and it hits identity. And I feel like you and Tanisha are the, highlights of I can make fucking like chicken noises. And you guys are just gonna like stay quiet on the phone or like you guys will join me. My journey through the 59th gene key, I did want to add um in the book, Richard Rudd talks about the feminine and the masculine. And this one's actually really interesting because I think this is in the transparency. We all have feminine and masculine energy, and it gets down to like the whole like gender type shit. So anyway, in the transparency, the city, he talks about how way later in the future the beings like it's going to be different. It's going to be way different because right now like we do have the divide of like we have the man and the woman. We have the patriarchy, whatever. Um and it's interesting we have all this division, right? But then I feel like the goal that everything and everyone that has consciousness in this reality that we're in, the goal is source. You can call that shit heaven, you could call it God, like the kingdom, whatever the fuck it is, that is the goal. I just made that connection. And gender is not going to be a thing once we reach that enlightenment, that very high fucking frequency. Being in like this state of like high vibrational ecstasy, like forever. Didn't we ask each other what would we do if we were in that? And I think you said something along the lines of you wouldn't be able to take it because it'd be like too much.
Yeah. Yeah, something to that effect, I think. I don't think that that's changed. I can't imagine myself inside it right now. I know that probably when you become enlightened, that's all it is.
That it is all it is.
Yeah, but at this current moment in my life, I just feel like there's so much things I still have to go ahead and do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I feel like that's the beauty in life, where like there's division, right? Like we sit here and we learn lessons and I went on a tangent, but that is what me and Creason have been really like honing in on and really trying to get a better understanding. Yeah, Richard Rudd talks about like the sequences. I have all the books. You have the Genius sequence, you have the Venus and then the Pearl,
Yeah.
right? But I don't like to follow rules. I don't like to like do things the way Creason does. Creason's like, we need to do it like this. And I'm like, no, I want to do it like this. And I don't know if I told you, I like to like write the spheres down or like I'll have the books and then I'll be like, okay, guides, like what do I need to work on? And the funny thing is, a message that I had gotten from my spirit guides has been, bitch, heal your attachment wound. And I feel like energetically my attraction sphere is attached to my attachment wound, and that's where we're at. That's where we're at. But you're supposed to start with your life's work. But I'm starting with whatever the fuck it is that I want. But Gene Keys is amazing. It's beautiful. Absolutely love.
Absolutely love it. Yeah, I think that was all good. We went pretty deep in this session talking about, I think we were talking about attraction. I don't know exactly, but hopefully someone got something from this because we we went all over the map when we talked about attraction.
Absolutely. One thing that I do want to say as well, something the last thing that I want to say, um I have learned with my Gene Key 59. I have been in this like I kind of like want to like recluse. I've taken a long break from my business. The last time I was like really active like that was before my 32nd birthday. That was like August.
Yeah.
We're in March of 2026. Um so it's really because like I said, my attraction sphere is my life's work. And the whole thing of the 59 gene key, like you said, like the authenticity and the being is really like I hold space, but also like showing myself and showing who I am and how showing my messy and showing everything, being transparent, really that scares me because when it comes to being online and stuff like that, I don't even know if that's like the road that I'm going to be taking. I've really been contemplating like I'm restructuring everything in my business. The way that my mind goes, if my family can judge me, imagine all these like people that I don't know are going to sit here and like judge me.
Yeah, I hear you on that one.
Judgment's huge when it comes to me.
I mean, it's the key word about why it's so difficult, but I feel that there's only two types of people that's going to sit there and judge you for who you are. It's ones that want to control, and well, actually, it just says one type of person. It's ones that want to control. I feel that if people judge, that they want to control. I do feel that there is a temperance to that. Like, for instance, I think there's a time basis. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, if someone just knows you, but they're telling you like what you should do, how you should be, and stuff like that, that's pure judgment. But I do feel that, like, even though a lot of people do want to put you inside a box, your body can tell the difference between someone who's giving advice, trying to help, and someone who's just judging you for being you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I feel like there is a difference between the two. Guidance and like trying to help someone out, and judgment is trying to get someone to do something that you don't think, or basically saying like, oh, why are they doing it like that? You know, that I think is two separate things. I can understand your fear because putting yourself out there is always scary. For those inside this podcast, when we first tried to do it, I was very, oh, let's do it, let's do it. I honestly thought, well, not even the Jinkies, just this podcast in general.
Oh yeah.
Like when we first did this, I wanted to just be an assistant and just help Cynthia go ahead and like work on the podcast because I didn't know if I could just put myself out there like that. But, eventually Cynthia and I were just like talking and she was like, I would feel more comfortable if we were to go ahead and do it as like a team. And I made a choice that if I'm going to do this, I got to be authentic and I have to put myself out there. And I really think that putting yourself out there is always the key because sadly and truth, people are attracted to authenticity.
People are attracted, aka attraction sphere.
To authenticity. People want to know the real.
I'm working through it so hard. I am working through it. I have been doing a lot of like exposure therapy. I really have. I appreciate you for coming back on, even though I told you I didn't never wanted to do podcasts with you.
Hey, that could be a podcast in itself.
I know.
Why does this girl not want to do podcasts with Jen anymore?
No, but yeah, that was so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for having this conversation with
Thank
me.
you for having me. Yes, thank you for having me on this podcast. It's always a pleasure to go ahead and do these. I know we haven't done one in Check's watch.
Yeah, there's no fucking watch on your
But
wrist.
yeah, like I haven't done one in a long time, and it feels good to do these. Like
Mm-hmm.
we get very deep, and I feel that
Yeah.
it's like the only how that you gain these types of depth is if you go inside someone who has the exact same thought of like, I don't care how deep I go inside these things, whatever happens, whatever comes out of my mouth comes out of my mouth. And
I
I'm
feel
not,
like that's normally how I do things.
yeah,
And then
exactly.
just recently, Creason has been in this, like, I know something that you struggle with is flow.
Correct.
He's a very like structured to the point that sometimes it irritates me because I'm like, yo, I don't fucking care what time we're doing X, Y, and Z.
Correct.
Well, not everything needs a time.
Correct. When it
Yeah.
comes down to it, it's hard because I know that there is stuff in structure that does help
Yeah.
people like keep focused. But if you're unfocused, like it has its own thing, but it helps in a different way. And I
Hmm.
like to call it like creative versus logic. Creative is very free flowy. You're just doing things, yada, yada, yada. While logic is more structured. You're doing something, it's a timed based thing.
Yeah.
They both have their advantages and disadvantages. And I feel that one of the hardest things between you and I, because we're very, very different in terms of how we
Yeah.
think, was me trying to show you the advantages of being structured. You're like, structure, why?
I feel boxed
Wow.
in. I feel constricted.
While for me, I'm not gonna say I struggle deeply because like I'm an artist.
I'm
So,
letting you know you struggle deeply.
but like I do struggle deeply. No, but like I can understand because so just so you get like an
Yeah.
idea of why I say this, my profession is computer science. Computer science is one of the
Yeah.
most logical, straight by the books things ever. I piss my computer science friends off because of the same thing that you do to me, which is I tell them, why are we having structure behind this? Why are we doing structure
Hmm.
behind this? I piss them off.
You also self-taught yourself too.
Correct. I was self-taught. Well, more than I did school. I did schooling,
Yes,
but I self-taught myself
exactly.
first. So I understand her view when she gets irritated at me for logic because I do the same thing to my friends on the outside.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that's why I'm like, even though I struggle,
Hmm.
I understand where you're
Hmm.
coming from because my friends are like, they tell me the exact thing that I tell to you sometimes of like, sometimes you just need logic. Sometimes you just have to just turn your brain off and trust. Same thing.
I'm also learning in my life right now. I have people in my life that are more logical than anything, and I'm learning how to make decisions based off of like logic. It is something that's so difficult for me. I'm an emotional being, okay?
Yeah.
I'm learning how to not react to like specific emotions. But yeah, being like full blown fucking logical makes no sense to me whatsoever.
The only advantage that logic has, from my understanding, is the ability to your protect yourself from yourself. Like logic is one of the, I would say, tools for that of protecting yourself from yourself. Because when you're free flowing, you're doing things based off of feeling. Like you can run yourself off a cliff into a brick wall. Logic is the one that tells you, hey, maybe it's not going to be in such your best interest to drive off that cliff or run into that brick wall or whatever. But a free flowing person will be like, well, that's part of the experience,
I was about to say that.
you know? But logic is the biggest. If you ever find yourself inside like this, oh my gosh, like my life is running off a cliff, logic can help you structure yourself so you're basically kitty proofing your own playground and you don't run yourself into walls and injure yourself in the confusion,
Yeah.
which I think is important. That's to me the difference between logic and
Yeah.
free flowing. But I'm not saying that free flowing is bad. They each have their place.
Logic isn't bad either.
Yeah, they
I'm
each
learning a
have their
lot.
place. Like you just have to protect yourself,
Yeah.
when you're out there and make sure that your inner child can live to see another day and doesn't get trashed up because you decided to check out what the edge of a cliff
Oh,
bottom looks
Jesus.
like.
Oh, okay, Mr. Cautious. All right. Well,
Okay, Mr. Costas, I'm gonna jump off this cliff. Bye.
Gene Keys is something that I have been dabbling into and I have given a lot of thought. This is something that I'm bringing into my services. So I actually have a workshop that I'm going to be doing on the attraction sphere. So if you guys would want to come on and join, I'm going to go on and put that link below. It's going to be called Spiritually Attracted.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm super excited, y'all. I told you I fell off the game. Literally, like when I turned 32, my life, like I just feel like it hit me in the face. I feel like I get hit in the face every fucking season. But yeah, so and then also yeah. I can't speak. But thank you all for listening in. I'm going to be having Crecen come on the podcast and we're going to free flow and do random spirit shit and see what the next episode's going to be.
Yeah, it'll be just like the good old days.
Yeah, the good old days but better. We're a lot better. All right, everyone. I love you. Thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening, everybody. It was great seeing you.
Bye.